Hey, did you know that I am multilingual in crochet? And guess what? So are you. Let me show you how. So today I have a stitch pattern from a Japanese stitch book. And I would love to tell you the title, but I don't read Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. Now my daughter does, but I'm sure it says something like 200 Japanese crochet stitches or 200 crochet stitches. Anyway, this is a great book, and it's fun to find books on crochet and other languages, but hey, what do you do if you don't speak the language? Well, you get one that is all symbol diagrams. Look at this. There's really no words in this book at all in English. So if we want to make a pattern, which today we're going to make number 114, if you want to make something in crochet, then you have to know how to read the symbol diagrams because the symbols are universal. So cool. So even though I can't read this text here in Japanese, it really doesn't matter. So let's get started, shall we? I did pick a kind of more complicated pattern because I wanted to really teach you some symbols. And so I photocopied it really big, except I accidentally cut off this part here and it said 10 and it had a little symbol that looked like this. Okay, so that symbol next to a number 10. And I don't really know what that symbol means. I think it means something to do with the foundation row. Because if you count up the chains, the little ovals down here, they're in groups of 10. And the little bracket, like the bracket on this pattern above it, it's a group of 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So it's a multiple of 5, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4. So in English, that would say a multiple of 5 plus 4. So we know in Japanese that this is a multiple of 10, and the bracket is there. So it's a multiple of 10 plus 1, 2 more ovals or 2 more chains. So let's get started with I've got out my yarn and I had it all ready. Let's find the end. I have today an acrylic yarn in purple and an acrylic yarn in yellow, and I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook. Don't forget also that you can look at my other playlists for the basic stitches. This is a little bit more of an advanced lesson, so go back to my simple stitches playlist or my micro lessons if you're brand new to crochet. So what we're going to do is we're going to crochet a chain of multiples of 10. So for this pattern, I'm going to go ahead and do 30. So this is going to be a long lesson today. So get your cup of coffee, put this on pause if you need to. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and then there's 2 more. So plus 1, 2, 1, 2. Ovals represent chains, and it is true in all languages. So I'm going to chain 1, 2. Now, if you're unsure about the number of chains or you're unsure about the pattern, you know you could always just add 1 more chain. And then if you get over here and there's 1 extra, you can just undo it and tie a new knot. It's really not that big of a deal. So it's better to have an extra chain available than to not have an extra chain available. So I am chaining the exact number of stitches because I'm going to have faith this pattern is correct. So in the second chain from the hook, so here, and oh, stay tuned, by the way, lefties. So lefties, stay tuned till the end of the pattern and I'll show you a trick on how to adjust this pattern to make more sense for you. These patterns do, in this book especially, assume that you are a right-handed person. So chains are ovals. The plus sign, sometimes it's an X in some patterns, are single crochet. So this is single crochet, not in the first chain, but in the second chain from the hook. So skip 1, not in the first one, but in the second one, I'm going to single crochet. Okay, then what? Then I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the fifth one, I'm going to put all of this stuff. So I'm going to chain 1 because an oval is a chain. Oval is a chain. Then I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and in the fifth chain, I'm going to put a double crochet, a chain, 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 a double crochet, a chain. Whew, that's a lot. It's a lot to fit in there, but let's do it, shall we? So I'm skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the fifth one, I have it marked with my thumb and middle finger of my other hand. I'm going to double crochet. Now I know that it is a double crochet because it has 1 yarn over. How do I know it's a double crochet? How do I know it's only 1 yarn over? This little hash mark here indicates the number of yarn overs. So hey, my friends over in the UK who we call things different things, but it's the same stitch. So I think, and I always get confused, so I apologize, but my UK friends, my London and France friends, you would call this something different, but it still has 1 yarn over. So whatever you call this stitch, whether you call this one the treble or the triple crochet, it's just this thing that you make with 1 yarn over. And then chain 1. And we're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4 more times in that same spot. So I did it once, and I'm going to do it double crochet, chain 1, that's another time, double crochet, chain 1, that's another time, double crochet, chain 1, that's another time, there's 4, double crochet, chain 1, and that makes 5. Now you can always lay your work down and see if it matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're on the right track. Don't forget that extra little chain there. So then we are skipping. So all of them went in here. So we're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4 more chains. And in the next chain, we're going to put a single crochet. So we're skipping, I'm counting with my index finger, 1, 2, 3, 4 we're skipping, and we're putting a single crochet right there. I'm holding it with my thumb and middle finger of the other hand. Okay, so we have, according to the diagram, 1 repeat made. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So it says to chain 1 after the single crochet. Remember the plus sign is a single crochet. And then we're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and in the fifth one, we're going to do all that same thing again. So skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the fifth one, we will do the double crochet, chain 1, 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. I love seeing crochet from other cultures, and I love to see what they design and what they love and see if we love it too. So then we're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next one we're going to single crochet, making sure that we have a chain 1 on either end of those stitches, which we do, and then we need 1 more repeat. We're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next one we're going to do that whole repeat again. That big shell, whatever you want to call it. In English, we might have, this might be considered a special stitch, and I might say, they just call it a shell, and in the special stitches, it would define the shell as double crochet, chain 1, 5 times. Okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put an extra chain on the end. We're skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 1 left. So are we matching up? Are we right? So at the end of the third shell, we made the third shell, we chained 1. We should be skipping 1, 2, 3, 4, and we should be single crocheting in the final last chain. So I think we're right on target. 1, 2, and I'm sorry this purple is harder to see than I thought it would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the last chain we will single crochet. However, look at this interesting twist. So did I show you in the book pattern number 114 is two different colors. So it is red and gray. So we are changing color. And on the actual book, it's two different color fonts. So there's black and then there's blue. So this is, and since it's not every other row, like black, blue, then I know that looks like this color matches the picture. So what is blue is one color and what is black is another color. Just one moment, I hear the dog tearing something apart. Okay, so we're back. So we're gonna alternate colors. And so I know by looking at the diagram, because the color of the font is changed here right next to the single crochet, I'm gonna change color right there so that the next row is going to be yellow. So I'll get out my yellow. So as I'm finishing my single crochet, I've inserted the hook, I've pulled up a loop. Instead of yarning over and pulling through two, I'm going to yarn over with the yellow and pull through two. So now I have changed color at the end of my row. Now to turn and go to the next row, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. As I see these numerals over the side, it looks like this first part, this first row that we just didn't really count. It looks like it was maybe a foundation row because they start counting with numerals with row 1 here, this next row we're doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like they want us to repeat these 8 rows, and I'm not seeing how it's really different than, looks like 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the same. And then it looks like number 5 is the same as number 1. 5, 6, 7, 8 are the same as 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like it's just a 4-row repeat. But anyway, the point is this first row looks like it doesn't count because they literally have not counted it. They've not put a numeral next to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to chain 4 because that's what it says to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and turn. And let's see. Now this symbol here, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of a T there. And then these pieces are, they look like, what do they look like? Double crochets. They have one little hash mark on each one, and all of them are in this chain space. So because it has one hat, it is a cluster. They're all put together, wrapped up, tied nicely in a bow with a hat on top. Now, if it were like separate complete stitches, like 3 plain old double crochets, it would have 3 hats, 1 for each head. But because they are grouped together, it's a cluster and they're all in one spot. So we've done our 4 chains and we're skipping this first chain, and we're putting it in the chain in between the first and second double crochet. So between the first and double crochet, I'll find it on my piece. We're going to put a 3 double crochet cluster. So remember, I do have a playlist for the double crochet cluster because I happen to love it. So we're doing double crochet, but not finishing it. Yarn over, insert the hook in the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and do it a 3rd time. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. Now all those loops on the hook we're going to tie together and put just 1 hat on it. So yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook. And that is the cluster. See, it even looks like that, doesn't it? Don't you think? So that's the cool thing about symbol diagrams, is it looks so much like the actual stitches. So chain 1, 2. Remember, ovals are chains. And then we're going to single crochet. We're not going to do anything in the double crochet. We're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space. So we're skipping the double crochet. We're single crocheting in the chain 1 space. If I can get it in there. Chaining 1. See, because here's a chain 1. Skipping the double crochet. Single crochet in the next chain 1 space. Okay. And then let's see here. 1, 2 ovals, that means 2 chains. Nothing is going in that next double crochet. So 1, 2 for these chains. And then we're doing another cluster in the next chain space. So the next chain space is here. So let's do another cluster. Yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And we'll do that 3 times. And then we will yarn over and tie it all together with just 1 hat, which makes the cluster. Now after the cluster, looks like we are just chaining 1 and then skipping all this stuff and putting a cluster in the next chain 1 space between double crochets. So it's extremely visual. You just really just look at the relationships of things and figure out where it goes. So if we're looking at it here, now remember, on this first row we were working this direction, and now we're reading, because we've turned our work, and now we're reading this direction for this next light gray row. So we've done this cluster. We chained 1, so this cluster is skipping double crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and that'll even be written in your English long handwritten out or instructions. It'll say skip the next, double crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Well, like, really? You got to use all those words? When in a simple diagram, you just look at it and say, oh yeah, skip all this stuff and put a cluster over there in between those. Okay? So it's a visual shorthand, and it really makes crocheting so much faster. And you don't get lost in a lot of words. And so people who have trouble with a lot of words or losing their place or whatever often find that symbol diagrams are the way to go. Okay, so after the cluster, it's chain 2, skip the double crochet, and then single crochet in the next chain. And so it's basically the same thing that we already did. So we're skipping the double crochet, we're putting a single crochet there next to the top middle post of those 5, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 2. Okay, let's finish up this little row here, and we'll see how it is going. I knew this was going to be a long video, so I'm sorry about that, but there's so much here. So we're skipping all this stuff and putting the cluster over here. And we've chained 1 because that's all the diagram shows us to do. So we're basically, it's just kind of like, show me the money. Just do what it shows you how to do. Then you don't even have to look at the words. So you're just matching it up. And then at the end, we can flip it back over, and I will show you that it matches the diagram. I love the checks and balances of being able to lay my work down on the diagram or next to the diagram and see that it looks exactly the same. So we're almost there. And then this is a 2 yarn over, so whatever you're going to call that stitch, it really doesn't matter. We're ending there with a 2 yarn over thing in the single crochet. So there is no chain after the cluster, it's just right into that tall stitch. So yarn over twice, because there's 2 hash marks, and put it in that last single crochet. Now if we turn, and look, it's still the same color font, so I'm staying with yellow for 1 more row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have this. Look, it's just like the diagram. So you can see the little ray of sunshine right here. Here's the ray of sunshine. Then there's the anchor, another ray of sunshine, another anchor. Okay, you seeing it? And then when you lift it up a little bit, and you can see just this row 1, they're like, oh, pocket and some stitches, pocket and some stitches. So pocket and some stitches, pocket, pocket and some stitches, pocket. And I just came up with the word pocket. It doesn't really mean anything. It just looks like a pocket to me. And then, you can just see it. It's like single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, single crochet. So it looks exactly like the pattern. Yay, we're on the right track. Okay, so let's keep going. Yay. Okay. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4 when we turned. Then there's a double crochet in this same tall stitch, a chain 1, another double crochet in this tall stitch, another chain 1. So let's do that, shall we? And it's just 1 yarn over, so we know it's a double crochet and not a treble. Okay, and then chain 1, and then look, we are skipping all of this stuff. There's no stitches in all of this stuff. the next stitch we make is a single crochet in this chain one that's over the middle of this ray of sunshine here. And yeah, I know it's a shell, but I'm calling it a ray of sunshine. Okay, but that's not a technical term. In an English pattern, it'll be some form of a shell, I'm sure. Okay, so we're skipping all of this stuff. And the next thing we're going to do is a double crochet, and it's going to be in this chain one spot between pockets, between clusters. So in between these two clusters, there's one chain one space, and all of this stuff is going in it. So it's the same ray of sunshine shell that we did down here. See, we already know how to do this. What matters is where it goes. So double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one. Oop, I dropped it. Got to go back and finish. This yarn is splitty. This is a splitty yarn. Not a big fan of splitty yarns. And it's probably not good that I'm using this particular type of hook, because I do use both types of hooks, but when I have a splitty yarn and a flat-headed hook, it tends to be worse for me, but that's okay because everybody crochets differently. All right, so after we've done our ray of sunshine with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets, and you can't really see, but there are chain ones in between each, see? They're just kind of clustered together or held together tightly. So after we did that, then there's a chain one, which we did, and then a single crochet in between, which is lined up above the middle of this ray of sunshine. So this ray of sunshine, the third post, the middle, the single crochet is going to go right there. And we will just continue. Are you having fun? Please like and subscribe so that you can get more of these videos on your feed. They'll just start magically popping up if you enjoy them. And they make them discoverable for other people too. The more you like them, the more people will say, hey, those must be videos that people might like. So, okay, so after that ray of sunshine, don't forget that chain at the end. We're skipping all of that stuff and putting a single crochet in that chain one space. And this is where we are. This is the single crochet I just made. I skipped all this stuff and put the single crochet there. Okay. Chain one, and then, okay, here's the end. So we need to pay attention because we're at the end. You know, the beginning and the end of the row is always the most precarious, where I have to pay the most attention. Maybe you do too. So at the end of this row, we have, instead of a whole ray of sunshine, we're only doing half. We're doing half a shell like we did half a shell over here. So we're doing double crochet in the top of that turning chain, chain one, double crochet, chain one, double crochet. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets separated by chains all in the top of that turning chain 4. So I'm going to find that 1, 2, 3, 4, and there it is, here it is. And I'll put the 3 double crochets separated by chains all there. And this is one of the fiddly parts for people. Just get 2 strands of that top chain. And separating by chain ones, don't forget that. And we end with a double crochet, and hey, guess what? Look, we're changing color. So before I yarn over and pull through on that last one, I'm going to switch colors. So I never cut the purple. I'm just going to pull it up from that previous row and yarn over and pull through. Okay, and I'll pull it just tight, slightly snug, but not too snug. And let's see, chain one, oval, and a single crochet. So I'm going to chain one and turn, and single crochet in the top of that double crochet over here. No need to work over my colors because they nicely have designed it so that there's 2 rows of each color, so we can just carry it up the side and never cut and never have to work over it. So convenient. So single crochet, and we already did it in that first double crochet. We're going to put another one here in this first chain space. and then chain 2. And then the rest of this is very much like what we've already done. So we're going to do a cluster in the next chain 1 space. And then I'm going to skip a little bit ahead and show you Lefty's a trick. Okay, just one moment. All right, I have finished row 3 and ended with a single crochet and a single crochet right here. And I had to go chase my dog, who got into a zippered, closed zippered bag and found my earbuds and ate the caps off. Great. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to stay with the purple. So we did purple in row 3. We're going to do purple in row 4 and go back. But I've not shown you this part yet, this little turn. So here we go. Let's do it. So after the single crochet in the chain 1 spot and the single crochet in the treble crochet, I'm sorry, not treble, it's a double. We're going to chain 1 and turn and single crochet in the first single. They're stacked on top of each other. Then we are skipping the next single crochet. Nothing is in it. It's a chain that floats. Skipping all of this stuff, the next double crochet, the next stitch along the route is a double crochet, and it's in that chain 1 spot that's between the clusters. So we'll go and do our sunshine shell in that spot. And I think you're getting the hang of it. It is all of the same stitches now at this point. It's just a matter of where they are placed. And so let me just finish this shell, this big ray of sunshine, I'm calling it. And chain 1. I'll know not to use this purple again. It's awfully dark. So anyway, I think you're getting the hint here. You can see this arch of stitches, and here's the arch of stitches. So this yellow arch here is actually 2 rows. So it's all of this. And you can see it on the picture number 114 is what it was. You can see the arch of stitches, and that's actually 2 rows. But because of the way the color is, it looks like it's all connected. Okay, so lefties, I promised you a tip, and here it is. So if you are a lefty and you see a symbol diagram like this, what you can do, I'm going to grab a Sharpie. I'm going to grab a Sharpie so that it's darker. So what you can do is do exactly what I have done here and photocopy the pattern. Enlarge it, make it as big as you want. It's good for your eyes anyway. So if you are a lefty and you want to change the instructions more friendly, you're going to change it with hopefully a red Sharpie where you can see better. So, and here a righty would have the single crochet over here on the right. You would have yours and your turning chain over there. So go ahead and write on your pattern what it's going to be. So instead of this 2 hash mark treble crochet over here, it's going to be over here. And instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4 chains over here, it's going to be over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're just mirroring it. And if you could do that on the photo machine, photocopier, I'd say just do it. But 1, 2, 3, these 3 are the turning chain. This one is part of the pattern. Remember how there's a chain in between each one? And over here, there's a double crochet. So we're going to make this the double crochet, like over here, and then there's the chain 1, so there's the chain 1, and we'll make this the 1, 2, 3 turning chains, and then the 4th chain is part of that. Okay, so you will manually go in with your red pen or your red Sharpie and change the pattern. Just write it down, like just do the sample of it, and then you will have it, and then you can just read your own chart. You can also, anytime you want, when you have written instructions that don't have a symbol diagram, you can draw it out on a plain piece of paper so that you never have to look at the written instructions ever again. You can just draw it for yourself and then follow your drawing. I hope this lesson has been helpful to you. Please leave comments below and ask me questions or tell me, hey, I love it.